Hey, what's happening? Paul Ingram here at Collie Center. I had a really good question that came up in one of my recent videos, so I wanted to go ahead and do a video that answers those questions. And basically it's like, Paul, what is the difference between a circular 1 and a reverse 2, or a circular 2 and a reverse 1? So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and if you enjoy training collie, if you find this topic to be a pretty interesting video, give me one of these. That really helps me out, shows me some love. I always appreciate that. Drives me to keep making some more collie training videos for you guys. All right, let's kick in right to it. Super awesome question that I got on one of my recent videos. Guys, I love questions like this because what it shows me is that you guys are really looking for the details in the collie. And you know, even though for the YouTube channel I try to condense the instruction to as simple and as quick as possible, there's a lot of detail that is actually in collie that as you're training your eyes, you're going to be able to pick up on these details. And you might get these questions about it because I don't always go into detail in the explanation of the details here on the channel. Because again, I'm trying to keep these videos somewhat to the point where you can just learn to drill effectively and then get out there and go train it. And you're not like stuck here just watching videos. The purpose is get up and go train, right? That's the whole purpose of the channel, is that I just want you guys training. That's the most important thing, right? So let's take a look at this question. And the question was, what is the difference between a circular 1 and a reverse angle 2, and then vice versa? What's the difference between a circular 2 and a reverse 1? So the lines are completely different and the energies are completely different. So let's kind of back this up a little bit and go into the angle 1. And I'm going to kind of just focus on the angle 1 to angle 2, because that will automatically answer the angle 2 to angle 1. And then I can just kind of go over that and it'll make sense. So let's take a look at the angle 1. So when we have the angle 1 is called the angle 1 because it is the best strike. It is the best offensive attack to start with, right? Because the angle 1, it has the most speed, it has the most power, and it has the most range that it can cover, single-handed striking. And so this makes it potentially the best attack. That's why it is called an angle 1. Okay, followed up by an angle 2, because an angle 2 still has a lot of power because it's still descending. But the angle 2 also has a lot of protection because it kind of shields you, right? You're behind your weapon. The angle 1, you are a little bit, but there's no, like, according to the strike, there's really nothing on this side. But right behind the 2, you are protected behind the 2. And it's protecting your head, right? So you want to make sure you can protect your head. Because once your head is gone, well, you know, maybe if you get cut in the leg, you can still kind of hobble away. You know, if you lose your hand, you can still run away, but if you lose your head, well, then, you know, you're dead. So you got to protect your head, right? Very important. So when we take an angle 1, the angle 1 is striking on this path from the right side of the body to the left side of the body. That is the full potential arc of the angle 1. So it's a full arc striking all the way through. Now, different styles of collie might train this angle differently. Most styles of collie will refer to this as an angle 1, but their mechanics might be a little different. Maybe they're not as strict on the details and the arcs and angles and all that. But here at Collie Center, we're very strict on what our angle 1 is. You know, it's a 45 degrees, starting from the full chamber position, with the spine is touching your spine. The spine of your weapon touches your spine. It's right between your shoulder blades. And you're striking this right through the bridge of your eyes, bridge of your nose, all the way through. Because this is what maximizes the arc. This is the full arc, which gives you maximum range. It gives you maximum speed. It gives you maximum power. But it also gives you maximum leverage for if your weapons were to make contact. All right, so if you're making contact one-to-one and you're striking correctly, which also answers another question that I got recently, then you don't have any sliding down the weapon, and you know, there's just there's way more protection, not only for your head and your body, but also for your hand. Okay, right here, right there. So that's the angle 1. Now there's 3 basic energies that you can strike with in Kali. We have our fluid strikes that go all the way through the center line, starting on the forehand, through the center line, ending on the backhand. Same thing, we just flip it, it feels the backhand, starting on the backhand, through the center line, ending on the forehand. Then we have our broken strikes, which starts off at our 1 chamber position, we strike it to the center line, and then it returns to the forehand side. And then same thing if we were on the 2, right? Backhand strikes out to center line, returns to backhand. And then there's the circular energy. Now the circular energy is technically a fluid because it can cross the center line, or it can cross the horizontal, the horizon plane is what we call it here at Kali Center. Okay, it's where the high line and the low line meet into the horizon plane, which is right between about that belly button plexus height. That is what we call the horizon line. So if it crosses through that, then it is a fluid vertical. If it doesn't, then it's a vertical broken. Okay. So that's the energies. Fluid, broken, and then circular. Now there's a lot of ways to do circular strikes. When we look at a circular angle 1, it goes across the body and then it comes back all the way around. So it's going from the chamber position of the right side of the body, transferring over to the left side of the body, just like a fluid 1, but it comes back around, back to the original side. Sometimes it's circular 1 to 1, sometimes it's circular 1 to a horizontal, sometimes it's circular 1 back up to 3, sometimes it might be a circular 1 into some sort of thrust, right? The tactics can be negotiated. But the circular 1, it is cutting on that angle 1 line all the way down. It doesn't cut exactly on that 45 because of the nature. Now there are different variations of this circular 1 that we train here at Kali Center, but the basic angle 1, you'll see it right here on the circular 1. Okay, and that's because it's got to follow the curvature or the angle of your body position, so that way it doesn't like run into your leg or your hand runs into you or anything like that. So it's just the anatomy of the strike, but it's still on the path of the angle 1. Now, so what is a reverse angle 2 then? A reverse angle 2, let's look at the angle 2. The angle 2 on the fluid starts over the left shoulder and strikes across the body on a 45 degrees to the right. Okay, so you're gonna see the blade on this left, upper left to bottom right diagonal line. Okay. Here, you're going to see that the blade edge, even though it kind of looks like it's the same, because it kind of is when you're looking at it straight on, but you're going to notice how the blade edge is still cutting from the right chamber to the left side of the body on the circular 1. So it's still cutting on the path of the angle 1. The reverse 2, even though it starts on the right shoulder, the number 1 chamber position, it turns and it cuts on the angle 2 line. Okay, let me grab the live bolo so you can see the blade edge and get a little closer. All right, so from right here, kind of get low here so I can show you this in full detail. Right here. So as I'm striking my circular 1, you're gonna see how the blade edge is going down the path of the 1, right? So it is cutting in this direction. When I go into a reverse 2, you're gonna see how now my blade is cutting in this direction. All right, so that's what makes them very different. They're very different angles, very different energies, very different applications and reasons why you would strike a circular 1 versus striking a reverse angle 2. Okay, circular 1 is cutting this way, reverse 2 is cutting this way. All right, so they're completely different directions. So that would automatically answer what is the difference between a circular 2 and then a reverse 1, right? So a circular 2 is cutting in the 2 direction. right? A reverse angle 1 is cutting in the angle 1 direction. Okay? Or if I do the reverse 1 from here. Okay? So you can kind of do it from either position. Right? Same thing. So you see how the angles are different. An angle 1, whether it is fluid, broken, circular, or reverse, is always cutting in the angle 1 path, regardless of where it starts. The angle 2, whether it is fluid, broken, circular, or reverse, is always cutting in the angle 2 path, regardless from where it starts. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So you can take that same principle and you can literally apply it to even like the angle 3 and the angle 4 and all the other angles. But that's just how it works. So I thought that was a really good question. It's a really good eye for detail and searching for more details in Kali. Because being able to see those little type of particulars and then understanding those little types of particulars, that's going to really bring your Kali up to a whole nother game, to a whole nother level. Because you're really starting to seek the ability to see precision. And something that I always tell my students, the person who can see precision, right? If you can see the precise, then you can see the precise and the imprecise. But if you cannot see the precise, then really you see nothing. Okay? So it's very important that we are training the eye to be able to see that. So a really good exercise to do is go back through, however many Kali Center videos that you want to right here on the channel. Go back and go see what your eye can catch. Go see maybe some of your favorite videos that you're like, man, I really like that drill. Go back to those videos and go watch them with a more curious eye for detail. And you might start seeing some things that maybe you were missing before. This is something I do all the time, guys. We have so much footage, so much flow footage and sparring footage that I've never released because it's really just for our own study. But I might start releasing some of it in the members area here on the channel, so that way you guys can start seeing the Kali here in application, at least the way that we do it here at Kali Center. I figure that might be fun. It can be educational and it can help understand why are we doing all these fundamental things. Why does Kali Center seem like they train the same thing over and over and over all the time? We do, but at the same time we don't. And when you develop that eye of precision, then you're going to understand the difference between that. All right, so go check that out. Hopefully this video right here does bring a lot of depth into the strikes of Kali and how a very small little detail can be missed. But if it's missed, man, it can throw your entire game off. All right, so hopefully this video, you appreciate it. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Again, if you're new to the channel or if you've been watching Kali Center for a while and you have not yet, click the subscribe button, guys. It really does help me out when you click that subscribe button. And check out becoming a sponsor to the channel if you want to get more exclusive training and more in-depth detailed training and all that. And then I can tailor make certain video requests for you and go even deeper into the lessons in our members area right here. So just click the join button right below the video if you want to check that out and become a sponsor of the channel. So many people are doing it, you guys. Like it's awesome to see it. So I'm able to pump out even more. So we have a lot more videos coming up in there and a lot more plans for our sponsored members area here on the channel. Also, you can always head on over to KaliCenter.com, check out further training programs, courses, DVD downloads, all that good stuff. And hopefully I get to see you guys very soon at any of our upcoming training events, seminars, training camps, any of that stuff. I'd love to meet you guys and train with you guys in person and just have some good old Kali fun, guys. Just have a good time. All right? Get out there, go train, and go train those differences and check those out and keep that eye like a hawk. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.